ketone supplements? Are they the best thing to ever happen to the low carb world, or are they a total rip-off and scam? Well, it's not so black and white. Now, the first time I tried a ketone supplement was when they first hit the market a few years ago. Patrick Arnold from Keto Sports sent me a couple of bottles of his ketone supplement. It was a beta-hydroxybutyrate salt. The first time I tried it, my impression was that it was semi-enjoyable, but the taste was very off-putting. Me personally, I prefer to make my own ketones from fat, either from my body or from fat that I eat. So me personally, I haven't really finished the bottle that I got something like 4 years ago, I think. Still got the bottle. Bunch of people over the years have contacted me trying to send me samples of, you know, Prove It, Keto OS stuff. You know, there's multiple pretty obnoxious multi-level marketing companies out there. Constantly trying to hit me up to join the freaking Amway cult to sell ketones, right? I get a lot of clients that come to me who started a ketogenic diet. Most people doing keto are doing it for fat loss. Most people that are doing keto for fat loss probably don't need these ketone supplements at all. Now, in the very beginning of a ketogenic diet, I could see them having some sort of an application for getting your body a little bit accustomed to using ketones, but I've seen a lot of people really stall out their progress by relying on these ketone supplements and using them in an unintelligent way. So these ketone supplements will rapidly put you into a state of ketosis. Now, that doesn't mean you're burning your own body fat. All that means is you're going to have ketones in your blood. Ketones can have a very, very powerful appetite suppressing effect. But when you're putting an exogenous source of energy in your body, you're blocking off body fat burning. Now, of course, if you drop your hunger with these exogenous ketones and then keep fasting for an extended period of time, you should be able to tap into your body fat effectively and keep your hunger low. But the way a lot of people are using these, they're using several packets a day. I think they cost upwards of $4 to $5 a dose still, unless the price has dropped. But when they first came out on the market, they were about $5 a dose, which for me is just not worth it. Now, in the case of fat loss, for most people, these things are kind of a waste. Right? I mean, there's droves of people online marketing these things as, you know, a part-time hobby on the internet, in Facebook groups, sending emails constantly. Get into ketosis fast. I got into ketosis in 5 minutes. Here's how. Now, a lot of this marketing is preying on people's ignorance concerning ketosis. It's preying on the ignorance that people hold, or the ignorant view that people hold, which is that just getting into ketosis means you burn body fat, which is not true. You can get into ketosis through fasting and burn your body fat, but you can also get into ketosis through eating a lot of fat. That doesn't mean you're going to burn your own body fat. So for fat loss, I usually don't recommend using these ketone supplements. I know a lot of people get really hyped on it, the marketing's really powerful, but for the most part, if you're going for keto for fat loss, you should probably save your money and buy real food. Right? For that $5 you're going to spend on that ketone supplement, you can get a whole bunch of good eggs. You can get some Wild Planet sardines canned in olive oil. You can get, I don't know, I mean, depending on where you live, you could probably get a nice ribeye steak. So save your money, buy real foods, if you're trying to burn body fat. Another thing about trying to use these ketone supplements in order to burn body fat is you're not really building a foundation of habits that you can maintain long term. If you want to get the health benefits of a ketogenic diet, if we want to lose body fat and keep it off, we've got to build habits that we can maintain, right? Just throwing down a supplement every single morning isn't a sustainable habit that's going to get us all the way to where we want to go, right? We've got to get a solid foundation of food prep under our belt. Learn how to prepare our own nutrient-dense keto foods. We've got to learn how to partition our macronutrients and get sufficient protein so that hunger stays low. We've got to learn how to eat keto when we're out and about. We've got to learn how to prepare nutrient-dense keto meals quickly and efficiently. Those are far more important than any supplement. You're never going to supplement yourself into a healthy lifestyle. And it's about more than just what we eat. It's about the light that we're exposed to throughout the day and in the evening. It's about our sleep quality, our movement throughout the day, and much more than just the food that we eat. Now, that being said, there are cases where these ketone supplements seem to have a powerful application. Now, the first guy that was talking about the ketone supplements back in the day was Dr. Dominic D'Agostino. When I interviewed him about 4 years ago, this was before the ketone supplements had hit the market, and he was studying the effects of ketone supplementation on Navy SEALs who were using a rebreather and could get oxygen toxicity due to the breathing of the oxygen, the pure oxygen. So, Dominic D'Agostino was testing these supplements in these Navy SEAL divers. Another thing that he found it was very useful for and had potential applications in was traumatic brain injury. So, people have been looking at this for Alzheimer's patients, people with dementia, people where dietary adherence can be difficult, like epileptics, right? They've been using the ketone esters, which are much more powerful versions of exogenous ketones. Now, ketone esters will be absorbed very rapidly, whereas the ketone salts are slower. So those ketone esters can be very powerful in certain situations. The downside of the ketone esters is apparently they taste like crap. Now, I haven't tried any of the newer ketone esters. I haven't tried any of these new keto supplements that people put out there. A lot of these companies try to send me stuff, and I turn them down because I'm not going to market these subs. Right? I'm going to leave it to the other people to market the supplements. I'm going to help people here on the ground. I want to help people to formulate a lifestyle that they can maintain long term without gimmicks like ketone supplements and stuff like that. But if you got aging grandparents or parents who've got neurodegenerative diseases, if you had a traumatic brain injury, these ketone supplements might be very, very beneficial for maintaining stable neurochemistry, for decreasing inflammation, and for improved cognition. So, with Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases, it can be very hard for people to adhere to a diet unless a family member is feeding them and preparing food for them. So in such cases, these ketone supplements can be a good idea. Now, of course, the downside of the ketone esters is they taste like crap. The ketone salts, I also think taste like crap. That's just my opinion. I don't like they have this aftertaste and you could feel it all the way down your throat for an extended period of time. I'm not a fan. It didn't feel that great to me when I took them. But if you got Alzheimer's and this is giving you your cognition back, right? If this can make the last years of your grandfather, grandmother, or parents' lives more smooth, if this can decrease their suffering at the end of their life, I think it's a great idea. Of course, also implementing a nutrient-dense, unrefined foods, whole food-based keto diet would be better than just using ketone supplements. But just the ketone supplements, I've seen many people benefit from. Now, I talked to Andrew Scarborough the other day, and he was doing a ketogenic diet for epilepsy. He was a cancer patient. He had epileptic seizures after having a brain tumor removed, and he was using ketone supplementation as well as a zero-carb, carnivorous, ketogenic diet in order to maintain stable brain chemistry, and he enjoyed using the ketone supplements. But he ended up finding that he thought the ketone supplements might have interfered with his electrolyte levels, so he stopped. No, I'm not saying that's a problem across the board with a lot of people, but he did stop using them because he felt like they were throwing off his electrolytes. But he got very good results with it, and it helped him dramatically with improving his seizure threshold and sensitivity. Let's see. Performance. That's the last one I want to touch on. Ketone supplementation for performance. Now, ketones definitely seem to have a powerful effect on performance, especially for non-glycolytic activity, for like long distance running and stuff like that. Now, Ben Greenfield, he has an article where he talks about his experience using a ketone ester combined with glucose and jumping up his beta-hydroxybutyrate levels dramatically while jumping up his glucose levels as well. I don't know how good of an idea that is. I mean, how often in nature are we going to have our blood flooded with ketones and glucose at the same time? To me, it doesn't make much sense, but he said his performance was amazing. He said he had one of his fastest race times he'd ever had, and assuming he's telling the truth and not just trying to slang some ketones, there might be a powerful benefit there for athletes. Now, if I'm gonna go do a hike or do some hill sprints or something, the last thing I'm thinking about is chucking down some ketones. So for me, it's not worth it, right? I'm not a high-level athlete. I'm not trying to be the hugest, the fastest. I just try to live my life. So for me, I don't use these things, but in certain cases, they can be useful. So just to recap, for fat loss, probably not the best idea. You want to create a solid foundation of nutritional habits that you can maintain long term. Not rely on a supplement to get you to where you want to go. All right? A ketone supplement isn't going to make you lose body fat in and of itself, unless you reformat your habits around food intake, food timing, movement, exercise, and the amount of food we eat. So, I'd rather you spend your money on whole, nutrient-dense, unrefined foods, right? And learn how to make nutrient-dense, whole, unrefined foods. So check out my wife's cookbook, the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, the training manual for low-carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. There's a link down in the description below. It's finally available in print. And in that book, our goal is to actually train you how to do it long-term. How to make nutrient-dense, whole foods, keto meals. There's macros on all the meals. All of them have sufficient protein. And they're all fat loss friendly macros. We show you how to adjust the macros on the meal according to your goals. So check the book out, links in the description down below. If you're looking to lose fat, the ketone supplements might be a waste of time. Could be kind of a scam. But hey, if you want to join the sales brigades online and sell some Keto OS, no problem. Just please don't email me. I get way too many emails about it. For epilepsy, for cancer patients, for therapeutic ketogenic purposes, right? If you're undergoing cancer treatment, if you have traumatic brain injury, ketones might be a great idea. But it depends on the context. You gotta know how and when to use them. For performance, they could be a good idea as well, although I'm not exactly sold on the using ketones plus glucose at the same time. It just seems unnatural to me. But that just could be my own dogma. It could be the greatest thing ever. Maybe I'll have to try it sometime. Maybe I'll have to try taking back some ketones, toss down the ketones, and have some honey to raise my blood glucose at the same time, and see how I feel. My problem is, I just don't like the taste of the ketone supplements. So ketone supplements, they're not the biggest scam in the world. They have their place. The way people market them can be very misleading. You know, they're basically selling people on fat loss through a supplementation, which just doesn't work. It just doesn't play out that way. But they do have purposes as far as medicinal purposes. If you've got family and friends who've got traumatic brain injury or neurodegenerative diseases, it could be a great idea to use these things. But it's all about context, like anything. It's about the context. So a ketogenic diet in and of itself isn't going to be the best thing for everybody. It's about context. A carnivorous diet isn't perfect for everybody. It's about context. So I think you get the point. You can find more at primaledgehealth.com. There's a link down in the description. If you're interested in our next Keto and Carnivore Collective, our group community coaching, we're starting on December 9th. And I could be wrong there, but I believe Jessica told me yesterday that December 9th is the next Keto and Carnivore Collective. It's our group coaching where we have 2 live interactive voice chats per week. We're able to give you actually much more content, much more one-on-one time, much more feedback, and a community support aspect to coaching. So you can check that out in the link in the description. We still do private consultations. I just decreased the amount of private consultations I do while we're doing the Keto Collective because it allows us to reach many more people. It allows us to lower the price of coaching and provide you much more content and much more support in a community setting, which is super helpful. So the next one's starting in a few weeks. The November one's going great. Great group of people in the November Keto and Carnivore Collective. It's interesting, the whole carnivore thing is kind of blowing up now. We've got more people in each one of our keto collectives. We found that there are more people interested in carnivorous style diets. Where keto fails, often a carnivorous approach can succeed. Now of course it's not for everybody, but it's becoming pretty popular and more people are becoming interested in this. And that's why we had to add the name Carnivore to our Keto Collective. So that's starting on December 9th. There's a link in the description down below. Ketone supplements, trying to lose fat, don't waste your money. If you got friends and family with neurodegenerative diseases that might benefit from it, could be a great idea. If you're gonna use them for performance, I just don't know, I'm neutral. Try it out, see how it goes. Tell me what you think down below. I'll see you guys next time.